Hi, everybody. Welcome back again. I'm Leslyn Keith here with Lipedema Simplified and talking to our main sponsors for our event that's coming up in October 27, 28, 29. And today I am so pleased to be with Christine King. She's the founder and owner of Infinite Healing. And she has such a wonderful background and provides such wonderful services. I'm going to let her introduce herself and kind of tell about what her infinite healing and all that kind of stuff is about. Christine, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Oh, thank you, Leslyn. I'm glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about what you do and your background and stuff like that.
Right. So my name's Christine King. I've been practicing massage since 1985. I was been certified in the state of Oregon since 2002 and certified in manual lymph drainage through the Dr. Vader School since 2009. You would say that I've dedicated my whole life to learning about illness and injury in the body. And then I've been able to help people, use that knowledge and overcome illness and injury themselves. Right now, my primary focus is manual lymph drainage. And with that, I get to work with lymphedema, lipedema, post-surgery, anything that swells, I can help you manage that.
Yes.
So that's what brings me to Lymphedema Simplified. I joined the tribe last year, and I just love what you guys do. I love who you work with. I love the mission. I like that you're working with people, tailoring protocols to what works for lipedema and coming up with your own path. Because in my training, I'm trained to help with lymphedema. If your lymph system's broken, I can help drain that out of your body. With lipedema, it's really taught me that the same things apply, and the lymph drainage that I learned is successful, but we have to do a little bit more. We have to go a little bit further and look into what's really going to help sustain people with their lipedema.
Mm-hmm. I just love, Christine, how what your life's passion is and your vocation is so much in line with what Lipedema Simplified is doing, and also what our heart-to-heart events are doing. Just like you said, looking at that holistic approach and very individualized approach, multidisciplinary approach. And I want to talk just a little bit about, because I'm fascinated by it, just MLD itself, because there is some question that whether or not individuals with lipedema really need MLD. And at Lipedema Simplified, we firmly believe this is a super important component of someone's holistic therapy. And can you talk a little bit about, from your experience in training, why do you think MLD is important for someone with lipedema?
Well, I think MLD is important anytime you're having swelling and you're holding fluid. That fluid you're holding is lymph. People call it water weight, people call it weight, it's lymph. So if you're struggling with your lymph, which is inflammation, you need manual lymph drainage. And what I've learned about lipedema is they keep arguing which comes first, the diseased fat or the lymph. But they've always come hand in hand sometimes, and it never helps to keep that lymph moving. Keep the lymph moving, keep the lymph moving, because anytime something is irritated or agitated and it's causing swelling, I don't care what it is, that needs to be addressed. And with lipedema, since it's constant, it's this constant stress on your body. That's what's causing the lymph to build up, is that the diseased fat is really causing so much stress that it's causing the lymph to try to save your body. Your body's really doing its job. Lymph's job is to wall off and protect. And so it's trying. It's just that it doesn't ever hit that natural barrier where it starts to move things through. If you think about when you break your leg, it instantly swells to stabilize and protect. And then as things heal, it gets to where it lessens and lessens as your muscles and things move that lymph out. With lipedema, it's like it's stuck and there's not that natural signal that's allowing that body to move that lymph. that make sense, Leslyn?
Oh, yeah. It's a very, very good explanation. And I like how you say that when we have an initial injury or surgery or something like that, some kind of assault or trauma, that initially that it's going to swell to stabilize. Basically, you're keeping it from moving so that it can heal. But pretty soon, to keep all that fluid there to stabilize is not a benefit, and we need to make sure that it can get out. And people with lipedema, especially, have a hard time getting that fluid out that initially had a purpose, but now we need to evacuate it. And so, a big job for MLD to help get that circulating again, help drain that area. So very important part of someone's overall care.
Mm-hmm. And another part that's really helpful with seeing a lymph drainage specialist and getting MLD is I have good eyes. I can tell how long the fluid's been hanging out. I can tell the changes in the tissue, the skin color, the thickening, everything that starts to happen when there's too much lymph. So then I can coach you on this leg is struggling a little bit more than this leg, or I see this happening and that. And it's just kind of helping the person then step it up a little bit, do a little bit more in stimulating of the lymph a little bit, or paying attention to, did you sit too much? Were you sitting in bleachers? Were you in a car? Things that also might be an irritant to your body. And I just help you recognize those things and make adjustments for what's going to help.
I was noticing, looking at your website, which we'll put that up here on the banner, something about a newsletter. Do you do a newsletter as part of your practice?
I've done a couple, and I found that I wasn't getting a lot of input, but I want to start getting information out there about lymph drainage, lipedema, just basically managing the lymph in your system. And I think a newsletter is the best way.
Or maybe even just have a blog as part of your website. Sometimes doing a official newsletter, there's so much with layout and, you're doing all this technical stuff. And if you just have a blog, I just heard this great thing about something that might benefit my clients. Boom, you just put up a couple paragraphs on your blog. I think you've got a lot of information locked in your head, Christine, that we want to make sure that everybody hears about.
Yeah, well, I really feel like I'm part of, being a part of Lipedema Simplified is I'm coming up with a new protocol for lipedema. Mm-hmm. And the success I've had is because I'm doing full body lymph drainage. And all of you can ask your lymph drainage people to do that, because that's what's most important. Is it's not about just draining your arm, just draining one leg, just draining your stomach. You really have to have the full body drained. And, and the other, if I would say, do I have any secrets? My secret is full body lymph drainage. And then I try really hard to tailor whatever I tell you to do, on the side, to make it something that's not a burden. I recognize that a lot of the things that people with lipedema have to go through every day are kind of burdensome. And so I want to educate my clients on what stimulates the lymph and starts it moving. And then if they can integrate that into their life in a way that isn't trouble, like swimming, like, playing the guitar, like singing, like drumming, like, all of the other ways that we can get the lymph moving through vibration, through pulsating electromagnetic frequencies, through all of these other ways, then they can leave my office and maybe have something that they can do that's not a burden for that day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Excellent. Again, it fits into that holistic type of thing and individualizing it. You could try some of these other practices, and if it doesn't sit right with that person, okay, then let's try something else. And you're modifying and adjusting to that individual client. Talk about some of these other interesting modalities that you've tried with people.
So, gosh, one of my favorite modalities that I just learned is orthobiotomy. And it was designed, I guess I would say, by an osteopath. And he's working with martial arts. He was a martial arts expert. And so he worked with his clients. And he found that he's working with the body's innate wisdom of protect, nurture, and self-correct. And so we're working with the reflex mechanisms in the tendons and the muscles in the body. And I'm finding where trauma has occurred and caused you to hold on, and then I can cause it to release. And what we found is it drains the lymph. And of course it does, because wherever you're guarding or holding is usually where things are swelling. So I've totally integrated that in with the lymph drainage. I'll be working on your legs, and I'll go ahead and release the ankle, release the knee, especially if you're wearing compression. A lot of that is being held in the same position. And so I have the opportunity to kind of give you some free range and release there. So orthobiotomy is one of them. I love it. And the other is I've discovered these pulsating electromagnetic frequency mats. And at first I was skeptical, but this guy just said, try it with your clients. And there's something about frequency that's just like vibration in the body, and it's stimulating the nervous system. So it immediately stimulates you to go into parasympathetic, which is exactly what we're doing with manual lymph drainage. Most people don't know that it works because it puts you into a parasympathetic state, calms you down, you go into relax, restore, rejuvenate. Well, these mats do the same thing. And so I'm like, well, I wonder how that's going to work on my clients. Well, it helps drain the lymph. It's like helping increase circulation, bringing the lymph to the surface. It doesn't give it direction, but for people with lipedema, since your lymph system isn't broken, it just needs that added stimulation and flow, it just like increased circulation, because that's kind of what lipedema needs, not like lymphedema. Lymphedema is broken, you have to go around. Lipedema just needs a better flow. And so I'm finding I'm getting great success with these mats. I'm about ready to just kind of let everybody try it, but really the ones who have, it's really good with fibrosis, which you can work months on fibrosis and maybe soften it. Seriously, 2 or 3 treatments and it softened. And when it first happened, I was kind of like, I wanted to be better than the mat. But I'm really glad. I'm really glad the mat works. Like, and so it's really added to my practice. You can come, everybody from the Pacific Northwest, come down to Portland, and you can experience the mat and some manual lymph drainage.
So you have that special mat that you use in your practice with selected clients. And then this sounds like something that someone could also be using on their own at home. So you can be educating and training them on the product, and maybe they can go get their own.
Yes.
So it's something that could really enhance the home program. I mean, I think that individuals with lipedema are always looking for, what else can I do? And is there things I can do for myself so I'm not always having to go, well, it's wonderful to see Christine and it's wonderful to do that, but is there more things that I could do for myself? And this sounds like a nice opportunity for some people. It's going to be very appropriate.
Yeah, and it's not as confining as the other tools that they have. So like it's basically a mat, and you can unfold it and you can lay on it. You can drape it across yourself. You can put it just on your shoulder if just your shoulder is bothering you, or just across your lap. So it's a lot more user friendly. You don't have to feel like you have to crawl in it or be in a certain place or a certain position. You really could use it anywhere. They use it on airplanes, which is the best. You can use it on an airplane.
Wow. So you just plug into like the USB port or something, or?
It's got its own battery. It doesn't need plugged in.
Oh man,
you just turn it on. Yeah.
Yeah, I never knew that. So Christine, we're going to have you back for a special fireside chat or something to talk more about this stuff.
Absolutely.
But mostly I wanted to meet with you today. So for everybody to learn about you and your practice, Infinite Healing, there in the Portland area of Oregon, and to thank you so much for sponsoring our event coming up this end of October 27, 28, 29, a completely virtual event. We'll have the links there for everybody to find out more about the event. And also you're going to see the links to Christine's website and to find out more about her. Maybe you want to take a little vacation and visit her in Portland. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Christine. We're so thankful to you.
No, thank you so much. I'm really blessed to be a part of Lipedema Simplified. Thank you very much.